Everybody's talking about
planet Earth,
rebirth,
United Nations,
good relations,
space station,
starvation, radiation, salvation, education, liberation. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. What we're talking about, everybody's talking about civil war, revolution, Armageddon, no solution. Are we facing Vietnam? We don't want to drop the bomb. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Everybody's talking about acid house, gay spouse, greenhouse, heavy metal, hip hop, censorship has to stop. HIV, AZT, new kids dance on MTV
with toxic waste dumps in the sea. See.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
everybody's talking about
Amazon, the trees gone, cancer cells from the sun, Middle East, crazy beast, rock and roll to sing for peace. All we are saying, all we're thinking is give peace a chance. Give peace a chance. All we are saying, all we're thinking is give peace a chance. You gotta sing it for the children. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Before it's too late, baby. All we are saying, all we're singing is give peace a chance. Give a chance to the children. All we're saying, come on, baby, is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. That's all we're saying. All we are saying is give peace a chance. A 1, 2, 3, 4.
It says here, Dear Lenny, my name is, I'll leave that out. I'm a soldier now over in Saudi Arabia, serving in the very front lines of Operation Desert Shield. I just wanted to let you know that I and many of my fellow soldiers find much strength in your words and music. A lot of times it gets very hard to deal with the fact that we may not be coming home again, and a lot of your songs deal with our situation. Though I'm sure at the time you wrote them, you had no idea that your own people would be in this situation. Although we all agree that the people of Kuwait must be set free, none of us want to see war. For it is the soldier that knows the full cost of war. Are we right? Please tell me.
You can't keep using people this way. You can't keep killing people. You can't keep wounding people. You can't keep bringing these body bags home.
No.
give peace a chance. We're not thinking maybe we can give peace a chance. We're saying give peace a chance. It's a command, you know, we gotta do it.
Give peace a chance means to not jump right into this war and to continue with the sanctions.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
It all started a couple of days ago with Lenny Kravitz's idea to sing Give Peace a Chance with contemporary lyrics.
It was an idea in my head that I was afraid to bring up to Yoko, even though we were friends, because you don't just go rewriting John Lennon songs, you know? And I'm glad that Sean rewrote it. You know, we all put our 2 cents in, but Sean basically rewrote it.
So then I said, sure, and Lenny Kravitz and Sean Lennon and I got together at my kitchen, actually. And in the kitchen we were just sort of eating pizza and just sort of saying, what about that person, this person, you know. And then we started calling our people, and the answers were just immediately yes, like that.
You write out ideas, you're like, oh, this, oh, and this rhymes with this, oh, this is perfect, we could do this in a rhythm. Because the thing about the verses is it's not trying to be clever, it's not trying to be deep, we're trying to say a message.
It was supposed to be a peace anthem kind of thing, or peace chant, or whatever you call it. And I think it worked out that way. And I'm sure that John, if John was around, I think he'd be laughing and having good fun about it.
Well, maybe John is around.
Well, John, do you like this?
As a representative of the human race, I'm speaking for us all, whether you like it or not.
Hello? Danny? Who's this? Davey Johnstone. Oh, they said Danny. Hey, what's going on? Well, they're setting up the whole thing, and, you know, we haven't started yet, but they're setting up. Right in the groove.
1, 2, 3, and...
Everybody working on this has their own talent, has their own style, their own thing. And Cindy just has a voice that's incredible, and she really added to this whole project, like, incredibly. She's great.
All I've been doing is looking at the calendar and thinking, oh my God, it's almost January 15th, and I don't have my butt out there, but I worry for the little ones that do.
What do you think this song could do? What do you hope it could do by getting it out there now?
Well, I hope that people will realize that not everybody is all gung-ho right now, you know, that maybe there is alternatives to killing each other.
Okay, what was wrong? Oh. Yeah, okay. Now, yeah, but, you know, okay, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
2, 3,
Everybody's talking about planet Earth, rebirth. I have to say it's a great track. It's jumping, it's contemporary, and we couldn't have done a great job like that in a sort of a bed-in situation. The lyrics had to be updated, and Sean did a lot of updating, and the reason is because he's really the next generation, and I'm surprised that a lot of things that he came up with, you know, is how the young generation's feeling probably. But that means that they're pretty ticking.
Can't remember it one bit, you know.
You remember this record, man?
No, man. Dead
You
serious.
know, John Lennon, you know, after he broke up with the Beatles, you know?
Oh, he made this?
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about civil war, revolution, Armageddon, no solution. Are we facing Vietnam? We don't want to try.
I think it's an important project because of the Persian Gulf situation and just the threat of war in general. I think that this should be a peaceful world. And, you know, I stand behind this project 100%. And I represent, you know, the urban youth of America on this project. And I just want to let everybody know that we, as the urban youth, feel that peace, we should give peace a chance. And I think that it's an honor to be involved with great artists. I even feel like I'm on the record with Mr. Lennon.
What's surprising me is how fluid this whole thing is running, and it definitely feels like there's higher spirit involved in this besides just us, because it's all happening so wonderfully.
Dude, if you could just restage it over there.
Yeah, no.
1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody talking about.
And I think that, you know, we're capturing some of the original feel, but yet it's a different record. For one thing, it's more of a record. It's not a recording in a hotel room. I mean, it's a different vibe, but yet we're still not leaving 1970 that far. It's cool. He just came in and wants to play, you know, he's just into doing it. That's it. You know, he picks up a guitar and he wants to play. It's part of his blood. And he did yesterday. That's how we did this track. We did the track in less than 2 hours.
Bob Gruen. I've been taking rock and roll pictures for about 25 years now. And I first met Sean when his father, John, asked me to take his baby pictures. I guess he was about a month old. And so I've seen him grow up his whole life. It's so impressive to see somebody so young working so hard for something that means so much.
What we will be moving on to is Sean and Lenny playing together.
I'm totally optimistic. I believe in peace. I don't believe in war. You know, I don't believe that man is destined to, like, destroy itself. I believe that, you know, we can work it out. You know, peace is our destiny.
I'm Sean Lennon's mom.
And I'm Lenny's father.
Lenny Kravitz's dad.
So how do you think they're doing, these two guys of yours?
I think it's amazing. This was put together in the shortest period of time that I know of for a record to be put together with so many people, so many stars, and what I hear is just magnificent. And I think from what Lenny tells me, Yoko was the incentive behind it all.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I think that Lenny did a great job, Lenny and Sean, you know, and I think because it's for the good cause, and that's why it worked out so well, so fast, you know.
It seems like these two guys have been working together forever, doesn't it? I mean, they're just falling in with each other in a great way, as a team almost.
Well, in music, I don't believe that you have to work a long time together. You know, music is an art form that just falls in place.
Well, music is God's language, so they say.
His Excellency also asked God to protect his people and keep them away from the evil of all evils.
As we sit here and put this song together, each day I sit here, the news goes by. There's 8 days to a war, 7 days to a war, 6 days to a war. I mean, as this is going on, this is happening. It's not like, you know, I mean, this is all going on right now. It's very real. We've been so brainwashed with movies and television and heroism, and we're going to go fight this war, and we're America, and we're going to be great, and we're going to have the big, you know, good-looking, muscly guy on the front line, and he's going to tear up everybody, and, you know, it's just not true.
In one sense, both the military and the media are testing systems and equipment.
Nobody wants to talk in terms of disappointments, but there have been some artists who really wanted to do it and for various reasons haven't. What are some of the facts? What are some of the pressures? What are some of the...
I think the big pressure is that this video is implicitly a criticism of the President of the United States, and not everybody who's in the public eye really wants to be in the position of taking a side on a divisive issue. Today's New York Times came out showing the public is split 50-50. So I think any artist, even if they want to make the statement, knows there's a chance they're going to aggravate and possibly alienate 50% of their audience, and it's a scary thing for an entertainer to think about that. Careers are fragile, and it's one thing to do sort of a Jerry Lewis telethon or even a Save the Earth or generalized good deeds. Not to denigrate those things, but there's an edge to this.
The people that are involved care.
Quiet, please, and roll sound.
Yeah, everybody's talking about animals on the trees, gone cancer cells from the sun, the Middle East, and crazy beats, rock and roll, sing for peace, yeah. Faith can't be sunshine, yes. All we are saying is against peace, against peace to shine.
A lot of people think that guys who look like me or play in bands like mine, really don't give a shit about, what's going on. But there's one thing that I'm really against is people being used as pawns in chess games. And that's what it, seems like human lives are being reduced to the lowest level by, our government right now. They're just, cruising around in Kennebunkport on their motorboats or whatever playing golf. And meanwhile, there's real 17, 18, 19-year-olds, sweating their balls off, ready to die.
The Middle East and crazy beats, rock and roll, sing for peace,
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Everybody talking about Civil War, Revolution, Armageddon, no solution. Always made a million, now we don't want to drop the bomb.
You got two kinds of songs, right? Is the immediate results-oriented type of song, like we did with Sun City, where, this is going to have immediate effect. We're going to shut them down tomorrow. And we did, Where this kind of thing is more that ripple effect. And those ripples eventually become a wave, and it just, it connects up people. And who knows where it'll go, eventually. But it's important. I mean, but, do I think George Bush is going to be sitting there watching Headbangers Ball on MTV and on comes this video and, he's going to be like, they're right, I'm wrong. Barbara, get me Saddam on the phone, you know what I mean? Let's work this out. I mean, I'm sorry, Is that going to happen? I don't think so, But I think it's just an expression, what I mean? It's a very healthy, democratic expression.
Give peace a try. Run DMC in the house. Bada bang 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 way. Bada bang 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 peace. Bada bang bang peace. Bada bang bang peace. Peace, 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 peace.
We were on Hammer Watch the other day. Hammer said he'd do it. I talked to him on the phone, but Hammer's got a lot of things to do, and Hammer shows up when Hammer wants to. So we sent someone to be on Hammer Watch, and stayed with Hammer from 12 o'clock until 10 o'clock at night when he walked into the studio.
Why don't we follow you back?
We should get with the engineer and show you what's going on and let Dave take over. Lenny will be here in like 15 minutes. He's just getting off the plane from New York.
One of the reasons that there's so much intense happenings in the Middle East is that some think that it will bring peace. They think that the end will bring peace, but we know that there are people in the Middle East right now who are going to lose their lives, and it's a terrible situation. So I certainly would rather give peace a chance, and that's not to say that we are not strongly supporting home and our government, because I'm a former military person. I certainly support the government, but I would rather give peace a chance than the war.
Everybody's talking about acid house, gay spouse, greenhouse, heavy metal, hip hop, censorship, it has to stop. HIV, AZT, new kids dance on MTV with toxic waste dumped in the sea.
Right? Once more for just for the hell of it, and then we'll go for the tighter shot. Okay?
All right,
so have fun. The reason that everybody wants to have Hammer here is for him to be Hammer. It's not for him to be just a person doing some lip sync. So it's very crucial that he is himself. And I've worked with him once before, and you know, he's all ducking and diving and everything. And unfortunately, the idea that we've come up with very briefly in like 1 5-second thing was to keep everybody very static. So suddenly realised, of course, that you're asking Hammer to do something which isn't Hammer, and what everybody who watches the video is going to want to see is the Hammer that they know and love. And so you don't deprive him of the opportunity of doing what he does best.
خايفين كل الناس من الحرب، خايفين للطير من البرد.
מדברים כדור הארץ תתחדש, שומות האום שומרות אמון, תחנות חלל, מה נאכל, מכת קרינה, ישועה, חינוך עכשיו שרק נורא. All we are saying is give peace a chance. We want a peace, definitely. The last album of mine, Desert Wind, which called Desert Wind, there is a song called Middle East. And this song, I'm singing, of course, about a peace in the Middle East. We are the key. When can we meet? I ask for my neighbor to come to me and to be together. And this album released everywhere, actually. And I don't know how it got to Egypt, Jordan, even Kuwait, before Saddam Hussein. And I got many letters from them that it's a wonderful thing that I did, and they want me to come and to visit in their country. The problem is that I have Israeli passport and I cannot be there. And this is very sad, but I hope that one day the gate will be open and everybody can visit everybody.
Oh my God. Everybody, woo! Woo! Everybody! Oh my Lord. Everybody! Woo! 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 Everybody! Woo!
I think it's time now for people to stop being warmongers. I think it's time for us to learn how to talk. We're intelligent people of all races, It doesn't matter what race, creed, or color. We are all sisters and brothers, whether we like it or no. And when the storms of prejudice and the winds of hatred and the earthquakes of greed shakes our souls, we got to learn how to stay whole and have control.
It's good. All we're saying is give. Just give peace one more chance. Thank you. Ooh-wee. Thank you, brothers.
Is this sort of a hard-hitting kind of expose type documentary where look at these pampered pop
stars. Look how flabby and fat they are in private.
Everybody's talking about civil war, revolution, Armageddon, no solution. Are we facing Vietnam? We don't want to drop the bomb. We are saying, let's give peace a chance.
The question I would ask is, why us? I mean, you walk from where we are now. You could walk 10 minutes, and I'll show you people living, or I mean, you would know yourself, in worse places. You can look all over Hamburg, Germany, or Frankfurt, and you won't find anything as bad as there is 4 minutes from here. And we haven't been looking at any of that. You know, we're not, our infant mortality is 10th in the world. There's a whole litany of embarrassing statistics about where this country stands. We don't have the luxury anymore of this kind of thing. Can't afford it in innumerable ways, you know, either in terms of treasure or in terms of time or priority even.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. Give peace a chance.
I mean, these cats are getting ready to fight,
if we
man.
attack Iraq and they attack Israel, in the end,
it's going to go down.
We are involved. The English, English are involved as well. So there are, people from my country out there, and so there is an involvement. Although I'm over here, I'm still thinking of, the English situation as well.
All we are saying, give peace a chance. Everybody's talking about passing us, gay spouse, greenhouse.
Lead jockey, ladies and gentlemen.
Has to stop it. Everybody's talking about passing us, gay spouse, greenhouse, heavy metal, hip hop, censorship. Has to stop HIV, AZT, Lucas dance on MIT. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
For this one, when you're doing your rap, it might be good if you kind of keep your head as still as you can.
Forward, still.
And then when you're doing the chorus, you can start.
It's in the chorus a little bit, and then okay, gotcha.
If you want to kind of come up into frame and do anything like that,
things like that during the chorus.
I think you're definitely the man for that.
All right.
On any lines coming from.
All right. Where is frame? Pretty much this.
Yeah, you can just see through there.
Great. Okay.
So you got the back. Oh, I'm actually going to turn it around, but if you lean out to one side and come in.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Woo! It's fun.
All right, and roll playback.
Everybody's talking about planet Earth, rebirth, United Nations, good relations, space station, starvation, radiation, salvation, education, liberation. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
All we are saying.
Well, the immediacy of being able to do this fast, it was conceived last weekend, and I think it'll be on TV really shortly. And, the deadline coming up, it's the immediacy that's really interesting and powerful. And the fact is that this generation of kids hasn't had a chance to march in the street against a war like some of us old bats did, and this is really a good chance to get this experience of how important it is to influence your government officials and tell them we're not going to put up with it.
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
In 1988, there were over 10,000 Kurds who were killed as a result of Iraqi attacks, and chemical and biological weapons were used against them. And the world community, because they didn't have trading interests or they didn't have arms sales to the Kurds, didn't really have any great political leverage to gain, really ignored the whole thing. And, I hope their situation and their plight doesn't get forgotten in all of this. I very much hope that the video can help galvanize public opinion, the campaign against war, to sort of try and put back the use of force.
The troops are poised for the fastest air battle ever seen. On the ground, those jets are being loaded with missiles. Crews are working feverishly to get the jets ready for war.
Everyone's efforts, I think, anyway, gives us a feeling that we're trying to do something. Definitely. It's even if it's the smallest effort, any kind of effort we can give, at least relieves something inside of us somewhere that we're putting something forth when it really feels sort of hopeless.
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
It's a very ticklish situation with a long, long history, with issues that are not superficial, very profound issues that the American public needs a chance to review in entirety. I'm not sure that we know the entire story, but if we give the thing a chance, we may get a little better kind of perspective on what's going on and what has been going on in that situation, and come with a decision that may save a lot of agony.
All right, Tom. I won't forget you, man. Thanks. Wicked. We'll be here in an hour.
Yeah. Be such all we are saying is give peace a chance.
Don't shoot up people's noses with the camera. Go away. I think it's really nice that there's people like Lenny in the world that really care enough to at least go on the record about things like that in these times. So,
thanks.
So I've brushed over here from my studio to Lenny's just to be with him.
If there's anybody out there who's on the fence or doesn't know what to think, then maybe this will help them decide.
This might be corny, but being a soldier to your dream is probably a lot more important than being a soldier to war and dying over oil. And a song like this, it just reinforces dreams, and those are what keeps us evolving as human beings. So this is really important.
Also, my nephew, who's like, I'm 26, he's 24, he's in the Marines.
Is he over?
He's on his way.
Everybody's talking about civil war, revolution. I'm getting no solution. Are we facing Vietnam? We don't want to drop a bomb. All we are saying, give peace a chance. All we are saying, all we are saying, give peace a chance. Give peace a
People in Washington live in an isolated, almost hermetically sealed-off world, and it really helps advocates of either side to have examples of public support for their positions. No one really knows how the public feels about this. One poll says it's 60-40 supporting the president. Then they phrase the question differently and it's 50-50. And yet there's this nagging sense that there's tremendous unease about fighting a war to help the price of oil. There's tremendous unease about fighting a war to restore a royal family in a little country called Kuwait. And it helps politicians to see examples of public support. It helps politicians to have other voices out there articulating in opposition to the president. Even though the logic is really strong against going to war, it's hard to take on a president of the United States.
I was personally watching the news right before Christmas, watching this ominous buildup, step by step we seem to be marching towards the inevitability of war, and I was trying to think, what can I do, this lawyer in Los Angeles, to say something about this? And then I thought, well, what we do for a living is make music videos. Let's make a music video.
Tim, Rob. Okay, here's the schedule. Everything came in from London, all the Peter Gabriel footage. It looks great.
We had footage shot in various cities across the United States and in Europe as well. All the footage was shot and sent to Los Angeles for tape transfer.
Now the sound mix is going right on. It's happening actually right now, where it's going to be an all-night session. Tomorrow, actually, they're going to ship the whole the master to Virginia, and they expect to have it on 200 radio stations on Tuesday morning.
It's always insanity in the music business, but this has just been like ridiculous. Hello?
The footage was logged with visual printouts. Basically, there's one shot of each artist with the time code numbers as a visual reference. You got Cyndi Lauper, the New Voices of Freedom Choir singing the choir section, LL Cool J, Yoko Ono, Sean Lennon. This was basically our first real day of cutting. We have to deliver at 9 a.m. Tuesday morning.
I just come back from Vietnam, and I was laying in a VA hospital, and I remember hearing the song, and I'd much rather be listening to you, Lenny, than the President of the United States. I'd much rather be watching this video than sitting in the houses of Congress and watching the same thing that happened in Vietnam happening all over again. So I commend you and I respect you for your contribution, and I respect you for the leadership. Not many people in this country say this, you know, that nobody ever says this in America, that our artists are our leaders, our artists are our teachers, our artists are giving us direction. Who would have ever thought that that almost 20 years later, that his words would be able to bring our generation together again.
Exactly.
Could become an anthem to a new peace movement that would stand up against war and cry out for peace and for justice for everyone throughout the world.
Yeah. It's sad that we have to use it again, you know?
Right.
But since we do, here it is, right?
Okay.
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
What we talking about? Everybody's talking about civil war. Armageddon. No solution. Are we facing Vietnam? We don't want to drop the bomb.
I believe that it would happen, and it did happen. And I want to see this planet and all of our people spared. I mean, look at this beautiful sky. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a more beautiful sky. We've all been awake for about 7 days now. And many of us are sick, many of us are tired. You know, a lot of setbacks have happened. We've been tested to see if we really mean this, and we've all come through. The song is finished, it's mixed. The video is on its way to being finished. And I'm not gonna stop till I drop, and I ain't even gonna drop, so, you know, I'm just gonna keep on.
Give peace a chance.
Everybody's talking about
planet Earth, rebirth,
United Nations with relations, space station, starvation, radiation,
salvation,
education, liberation. Oh, and we don't stop.
This here is the LA crew who was responsible for taking care of everything, filming, production, planning, food, makeup, lights, cameramen, directors, producers, and I would just like to thank them all. I didn't see one sour face the whole couple days, and these are real people who care, and it was a sincere venture.
What time is it, Lenny?
It's Terrence came for the free T-shirt and the cup of tea, and it's now, what time is it?
2:30 a.m.
It's 2:30, and we're all gonna get a little sleep. And I'd like to thank you as well.
How many days to go?
We have what, 4 days. So this nonsense is supposed to go down, and we're just gonna keep positive energy flowing and try and sway things in another direction.
So what are you guys saying?
Give me the chance.
More. Do it again.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me by 7.
All right, peace. Thanks, y'all.
Everybody's talking about Amazon's
Trees gone, cancer cells from the sun. Middle East, crazy bees. Rock and rollers sing for peace.